Well, here we are. It's Friday, and it's been a crazy week. We've worried about toilet paper, cleaning supplies. We've had people who are scared to death because they have a child or an elderly loved one or somebody who's immunocompromised that are they're terrified. Understandably, they're terrified. And I think that there's some of us that are just kind of stuck in the middle. We're we're not wanting to encourage a spirit of fear. We're not in a position where it really hits home for us. And so we're just kind of left not really knowing how to act or how to be. And I'm okay with erring on the side of caution. I don't think we lose anything from it. It's terrifying. Churches, man, our lifeblood is people. And when we can't be with people, that's kind of hard. But this is a great opportunity for pastors everywhere to start remembering that the church is not the facilities. It's a great place for us to gather as the church. It's where all the stuff is that makes it easier for us to do projections and have great sound quality and good lighting. But even though we may not all be meeting as the church on our church property, we can still act as the church. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling really isolated right now. I'm at the church right now. See, churchy stuff. And it feels weird because we're not supposed to leave home unless we absolutely need to. Well, I needed to come get a few things. Here I am. But I feel worse about being here and thinking that a virus could make our church weaker. Does that make sense? I mean, people could get sick from it, yeah. But to think that a church isn't strong enough in their bonds between people that they couldn't last through something like this is just scary. I get it. Maybe this is a good time for pastors and for Christians everywhere that are tied to a church to start practicing more natural rhythms of calling people. I mean, a lot of us unfortunately have time right now. We're stuck in the house, and I don't know how many more episodes of Morphle I could stand, or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, or Little Einsteins, or Hannah Montana. My daughters have discovered Hannah Montana. It was really cute, and then it just stopped being cute. So maybe when I start feeling like, that's enough of that with the TV shows, maybe I should focus my mind on calling, texting, messaging, reaching out to people, doing things that make this world that feels so isolated right now, just to make us all feel a little closer. Take a moment and notice the good that's going on right now. I know that that's nuts because you're like, Isaac, I'm using newspaper right now in ways that newspaper wasn't intended to be used. You're saying I'm pulling stuff out of the back of the pantry that I didn't want to eat. There's like a 4-year-old can of hominy back there that we're going to have to break open tonight because we can't find food anywhere. Man, my heart hurts for you if you're in that position. You're saying, I got sent home because we can't work right now and I don't have money. I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills. I understand. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I want it to all be fine. But who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I have a firm faith that God's going to look after us. And that the worst that can happen here and now is that our bodies can be damaged. But look around. Look at the positive. We've got people who are defining inspiration. Not in the big, huge gestures. Those are cool. Those are awesome. But you and me, everyday people, they're inconveniencing their lives for the sakes of others. Either they're having to be extra careful because they don't want their children to get this illness. Or maybe they have a grandma or grandpa or mom and dad at home that they're having to be very careful about. Man, there's a lot of people that are staying home just to keep the infection rates from being low. And that's really cool. I mean, think about it. They're changing the way that they are living their lives to help people that they don't know. Isn't that cool? I think human condition in a crisis tends to bring out the best and worst of people, doesn't it? You got people running around at the stores like it's Black Friday and there's only one Tickle Me Elmo left on the shelf. That was the big thing years ago. It was the first thing that came to mind. But then you've got healthcare workers that are going through ridiculous stresses, putting themselves at risk so that the sick can be made well, that they can be attended to and cared for. You've got people who would rather not be at work, that are in high-risk positions, that are still going to work, and it's not necessarily because they have to, but they know that what they're doing is needed, and that's awesome. Man, these people that work in gas stations and restaurants and things like that, especially like ones on the interstate where people are traveling through in ridiculous amounts. I mean, stop and think, how many people touch a gas pump handle in a week? And then they touch it, they go inside, scratch their nose. Nobody scratch your nose. Okay, 9 inches. I'll sanitize. But we've got a lot of people who are putting a lot in to help others, and that's awesome. Being moral is great. I always want to advocate for good morality. But we have a God that sent a part of who he was as Jesus. He became flesh and lived among us. He made himself lower. He went from living in the high rises to living in the slums. He put himself at a huge imposition for us. That's awesome. He didn't come just to live. He came to die. Not that he wanted to. We know that he didn't want to. The Bible says he didn't want to. But he went through a lot for our well-being. And if God could speak all things into existence, and if he could undo the very laws of nature, through resurrecting lives, through healing sick, through making a kid's sack lunch capable of feeding thousands. I think that as long as we side with him, we'll be okay. I don't think that there's anything lost in faith. And in faith, we can be careful. We can sanitize like crazy. We can care for others often. We can put ourselves in an imposition to help people who need it. But as long as we've got Jesus, whatever else that comes along, it really doesn't matter. Whatever impositions that we're in, it's cool. It's fine. Let's do it. But I really want to encourage you to reach out to people. Some people don't deal with being alone as well as others. I used to feel like I have ants crawling inside my brain if I was in a room alone, quiet, with nothing to do. And it would gnaw at me to not be doing something. And I've got older, I've got a little more settled. I don't want to call it lazy, but a little more settled. And I'm okay just enjoying some quiet once in a while. Not all the time. But I like that quiet. You start picking up on the things around you. And just sensing how big the world is. That's nice. But we're not all made that way. And not all of us can deal with that in long-term measures. So send that text. Make that call. Write a nice long message. Just be an encourager. It's kind of awesome. You ever get an unexpected message where somebody just says, "Hey, you matter to me. I just thought you should know." And then they tell you how you matter. See, that last bit is big for me. It's no secret in Christianity there's a lot of empty platitudes where we genuinely want people to know that we care about them, but it doesn't really go very far. Know what I mean? Hey, good to see you. Man, I've been thinking about you. How you doing? And then we go on to the next person, shake another hand. Maybe it would mean more if once in a while between those moments we would just say something like, 20 years ago when I was listless and I had no direction, you were there and you helped me. You didn't tell me what to do, but you helped me find myself. Or when I felt like I didn't have any friends, you were a friend. And that makes you awesome, just so you know. I've got people like that. And I try to make a habit of it because it's not that we need that affirmation. We shouldn't need affirmation from anybody. But, man, it's sure nice, isn't it? So do that for me. Pour your heart out to somebody. Tell them how they're great. Stop and think about those that have done that for you. We seldom get to where we are without any help from anybody else. And sometimes it's nice to just stop and remember that. So Shiloh's going to be posting some web videos through YouTube, linking them on Facebook. Check them out. We're not going to be doing any big casting where I'm preaching to an empty room in the pulpit. It's awesome if it's your thing. It's not my thing. It's weird for me and uncomfortable. We'll talk about the Bible some. We'll talk about the Bible a lot, hopefully. What it means in a time of crisis to turn to not just a compass, a moral compass, but to something that is unyielding, that just stays, that you can depend on. The rules don't change. The Word of God for me is that. My understanding changes, and I change, but it kind of stays the same. No, not kind of. It stays the same. And so we're going to spend some time looking at the Bible, reading, thinking. I want to provoke thought, but thought's not the end. That's not the goal for me, is, I have new thoughts, I am bigger and better. I've tried to grow out of that. I went through that for a while. Like, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, which is a laughably horrible goal for me, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm validated by that. And I'm better because of that. But, Solomon said, much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases in knowledge increases in sorrow. And I found that to also be true. I don't want to just give you knowledge. I don't want to just pump you up and yell and scream into the screen and make you feel something that I've manufactured. I just want you to consider your faith and how that lines up with your life. I mean, a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that their belief or lack of belief in God affects how they live and who they are. And I'll be the first to say that there are immoral people who profess Christ, and there are moral people who do not ascribe to any religion. But your belief leaks. It doesn't stay in one place. So I want to talk about that some too. Just, how is your belief informing who you are? How is it making you grow? What direction is it making you grow? If our belief is the sun and we're a plant, we grow in that direction. And so where's your belief at? And are you growing towards that? Anyway, I'm open to thoughts. If there's something in particular you just want me to talk about, love to hear it. Comment. Send me a message. If you're looking at this on YouTube, there is almost no doubt that you know who I am on Facebook first, and I'd be glad to talk with you, message with you, take what you give me and make a video about it if I can. I want to be comfortable saying I don't know, so if there's something that's bigger than what I know, I want to share that. And I want you to be able to call me out if, like, I'm trying to pretend to be some sort of a resident authority that I shouldn't be pretending like I'm being. Just say, Isaac, man, what are you doing? I need that one once in a while. I need the checks and the balances that way. Anyway, to my viewers, I love you. To my city, I love you. To my church, my family, I love you all. And I want to show that love by not giving you my cooties. I don't want to give you germs, so I'm going to try my best to, when my job is about teaching and it's also about being with people, I just want to take that paradigm that we have to live by as pastors and do my best with it. I'm going to avoid you in person at all cost, and it's not because I don't like you, it's because I do like you. But I do want to be connected with you. I want to keep connections with y'all. And hopefully a few video posts might help with that. Love you all, and I look forward to the discussions. Bye.